This is the Sony ZV-1, and it's been my favorite camera for the past few months. And I have a lot of camera gear, but this little beast, this has gotten the most field time out of all my cameras in the past month. Now let me get into why I love this camera so much. For starters, this camera has really good video capabilities. I think now that I'm getting older, I'm getting more conscious about what I'm spending my money on. To stop me from buying every single camera that comes out, I tell myself that if I'm gonna buy a camera, it has to have really good video capabilities. For a while, I wanted a Ricoh, but I stopped myself because the Ricoh's video looks trash. I think it only shoots 1080, while this camera shoots in 4K and S-Log, which is very important to me since I shoot most of my videos in 4K and I shoot all my videos in S-Log. This camera has a 20 megapixel sensor, which means it has more megapixels than my camera right here. It has a 24-70 zoom lens and it shoots at an aperture of 1.8 to 2.8. It supports 4K video up to 30 frames per second and 1080p video up to 120 frames per second, which means you can get extreme slow-mo on this camera and a flip out screen to really help me when I'm vlogging. So those are the specs, and to be honest, those aren't what really sold me on this camera. What sold me on this camera was how it is actually using it. I love how compact this camera is just because it makes it so easy for me to bring it around anywhere. It feels so much better carrying this around all day than carrying a huge camera setup that's just super bulky and heavy, so I wanted something small that I could just slip into my bag and not even notice it. And like I mentioned earlier, this camera has really good video capabilities to the point where I think it matches even up to my ZV-E1, which is a $3,000 setup versus a $500 setup. And I think they look pretty comparable. Well, now the ZV-E1 will be better in videos, but the compact ZV-1, I know the names are kind of confusing, will be with me for more occasions than my ZV-E1. I brought this camera with me snowboarding, I brought this camera with me kayaking and paddleboarding, I even brought it with me camping, and I've never been scared about breaking this camera. This is definitely like a crash cam for me. Just because I'm not as afraid of breaking this camera because it's cheaper, but also because I'm able to store it in a lot more places to make sure it doesn't break when I'm in those environments. And the zoom range on this camera is super versatile. The perfect zoom range for any videographer. It's a little bit tighter on the vlogging end, but if you get like a tripod or something, you're gonna be perfectly fine. And when you zoom in, you can get really nice cinematic looking shots. So I almost get the best of both worlds, but sacrifice a little bit of that wide angle just to have this small compact body. If you notice, I do have a bunch of accessories on this camera, so I have a ND filter on here. It says it's a 2 to 400 variable ND filter, and I bought it for 20 bucks on AliExpress. It's not the best and it's not the worst, it's just good enough. And I know this camera has a built-in ND filter, but sometimes it's not enough and I need just a little bit more ND stops. If you don't know, ND filters are pretty much just sunglasses for your camera, which makes it so you're able to shoot at 1.8, which means you get really nice blurry backgrounds. And I have this cage on it, just so I have extra grip and extra mounting points, so I can rig this camera pretty much any way I want it to. And of course I put a screen protector on the back, honestly because the situations I'm putting it in, I'm gonna want to protect the screen. And I also don't use a mic with this camera just because the microphone on this camera is already pretty good, especially for the use cases that I use it in where I'm probably not gonna just be talking to the camera like this. It works really well. And if I do want to use microphones on this camera, I'll probably use like my DJI microphones. And if you guys do want this exact setup, I'll put all the links to everything I have down in the description below. And although I think this camera is really good, there are some cons. Like how I mentioned how it's a little bit tighter on the wide angle range, so you won't get the best like handheld vlogging experience, but I think it's something that you can still work with. And if you're super into color grading, this camera only has 8-bit log, which might be a turn off to some people. For me, it works just fine. It's not the best for color grading, but it's not bad. I pretty much just put on my daily driver LUT that I just dropped.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
You know, if you guys want to get it, you guys can check it out. Link down below. But most cases, it looks really good. I might have to adjust a few things here and there, but it does pretty much grade almost the exact same way my other cameras do. I just might not be able to push it as hard as my other cameras. And for those of you that don't know what 8-bit and 10-bit is, it's basically just how much information is stored in an image that you can use to push the colors or the way it looks. And well, it's not the best at low light. I think it does look a little bit grainy when you are shooting at low light, but I do think it's workable. And I think nowadays noise reduction softwares are getting really good to where it really doesn't matter. And especially now that film looks are huge, that grain adds a little bit of built-in film grain. Would I recommend this camera in 2025 and beyond? Yeah, I recommend this camera so much. In fact, I can't shut up about this camera. This camera is so good. If you're looking for a second camera or a first camera, this is the perfect camera. I love this camera so much and I pretty much take it with me every single day. I almost never leave the house without it. And I will say there is a world of options for you for small point and shoot cameras. And I'm not gonna sit here and say that this is the best camera you can get. But for this price range, I think it's the best camera you can get. That's why I love this camera. I mean, it's small, compact, cheap. cheap, and you can find it for really low prices on Facebook Marketplace. I think brand new it's about 700 bucks, but on Facebook Marketplace you can find this for like 500 bucks, and I've even seen the Mark II on there for like 500 bucks as well. So if you're willing to look for it, you can find really good deals on this camera and get a really insanely good camera for very low. But that's just my thoughts about this camera. I want to hear what your guys' thoughts about it are, and let me know down below. And also, I did just release a LUT, and if you're curious to see what it looks like, this is what it looks like. This whole video has been color graded on this LUT, and pretty much almost every single video before this was graded on this LUT. It's called the Daily Driver, and it's pretty much what it sounds like. It's the one LUT I use every single day for every single occasion. To me, I'm really lazy when it comes to making videos. I'd rather make videos fast than make them movie-like. So I made this LUT to pretty much make it still look movie-like and look high quality while also saving me a lot of time and not have to spend a lot of time just color grading. If you think it looks cool and want to check it out, right now I'm having a sale for $10. I'm not sure when the sale is going to end. It might end next week, it might end tomorrow, I don't know. But thank you guys again for watching. I hope to see you guys next video. Peace out.